We like to think we have history all figured out. Science and archaeology have explained most things, right? But what if I told you that buried deep within the past are objects so mysterious, so out of place, that they challenge everything we know? Imagine walking through a dense jungle and stumbling upon a perfectly round 16-ton stone sphere, one that no one can explain. Or digging up an ancient carving that looks exactly like a modern light bulb. What if a 500-year-old map existed that accurately showed Antarctica before it was covered in ice? These are not just stories. They are real artifacts, real discoveries, and real puzzles that experts still struggle to explain. Some say they are proof of lost civilizations, others whisper about alien visitors, and some believe they are evidence of knowledge far older than we've been taught. So, are these objects mistakes in history? A lost chapter of human civilization? Or something even stranger? Stay with us until the very end as we count down 15 mysterious artifacts that defy explanation. And trust me, number 1 will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew. Number 15, the London Hammer. Let's start with something simple but totally bizarre. And when you look at this thing, you'll agree why we said that. In the 1930s, a couple found an old hammer embedded in a rock near London, Texas. Now that alone is weird, but it's not what happened next. The rock it was found in is estimated to be over 400 million years old. Now let's be real. Isn't that mind-boggling? That was long before humans, dinosaurs, or even trees existed. The hammer itself looks, well, normal. A wooden handle and an iron head are pretty standard, but iron that old should have rusted away. Instead, the metal is still intact and shows a level of purity that suggests advanced metallurgy. How did a man-made hammer get trapped inside ancient rock? Some say it's just a weird natural phenomenon. Others think it's proof that history as we know it is wrong. But let's be real. How does a hammer made of iron get stuck into the middle of stone? Well, God knows well. Number 14, the Baghdad Battery. Imagine electricity before the light bulb. Impossible? Well, not if you consider the Baghdad Battery. This small artifact was discovered in Iraq in the 1930s, and it consists of a clay jar containing a copper cylinder and an iron rod. When tested with an acidic liquid like vinegar, it produced a small electric charge. While this wouldn't be enough to power modern electronics, it could have been used for electroplating, coating objects in gold or silver. But here's the kicker. If the ancients had access to such technology, why don't we see more evidence of it? Were they experimenting with electricity long before we discovered it? Or did we lose an entire chapter of technological history? Some even speculate that the battery may have been used in religious or ceremonial contexts, providing a symbolic representation of life energy or divine power. The question remains, could the ancients have had a level of technological sophistication that we've only rediscovered in the modern era, or did they know something we've forgotten? Number 13, the Piri Reis Map. The Piri Reis Map, drawn in 1513 by Ottoman Admiral Piri Reis, is an enigma that has fascinated researchers for centuries. It accurately depicts the eastern coastline of South America and parts of Africa, centuries before modern exploration confirmed their shapes. But what truly sets this map apart is its portrayal of Antarctica without ice. Satellite imaging of Antarctica's subglacial terrain reveals that the map's depiction matches the actual continent's features. But mainstream science claims that Antarctica has been covered in ice for thousands of years, far before any recorded civilization could have mapped it. Piri Reis himself claimed he compiled the map using much older sources, potentially dating back to ancient times. Some believe that the knowledge depicted on the map could have come from an ancient, advanced civilization, possibly one that existed long before our own recorded history. Was this map drawn by explorers with access to lost technologies, or is there another hidden chapter in our past that we're still not aware of? Number 12. The Saqqara bird. This small wooden artifact, discovered in an ancient Egyptian tomb, seems like a simple trinket at first glance. However, its shape is far from ordinary. The Saqqara bird has the aerodynamic properties of a modern airplane, leading researchers to reconsider its function. Originally thought to be either a religious symbol or a children's toy, the Saqqara bird garnered attention when a replica was built, and to the surprise of many, it glided smoothly, suggesting that its creators may have understood the principles of aerodynamics long before modern aviation. Some theorize that the Egyptians may have experimented with flight, possibly using gliders or other primitive flying machines. However, skeptics argue that the resemblance to an aircraft is merely coincidental, pointing out that the bird might simply be a symbolic object or a toy. But if it is just a toy, why does it have such a precise wing shape? Could it be evidence of a far more advanced ancient technology that has since been lost or forgotten? Number 11. The crystal skulls. The crystal skulls are some of the most mind-boggling artifacts ever discovered. Carved from clear quartz, these skulls have been found in Central America and are attributed to ancient Mesoamerican civilizations like the Maya and Aztecs. However, their origins remain unclear. And what's truly puzzling is that they show no signs of tool marks, something that even modern technology struggles to replicate. The detail and precision with which they were carved seem impossible considering the tools available at the time. Some claim that the skulls possess mystical powers, while others believe they could have been created by an advanced civilization, possibly even extraterrestrials. The skulls have become popular in New Age circles, where they are thought to hold healing or spiritual properties. Though some of the skulls are believed to be 19th century creations, others still defy explanation. If these ancient cultures truly carved quartz so perfectly, how did they do it without the tools we have today? The mystery surrounding their origin continues to haunt researchers. Number 10. The Voynich manuscript. The Voynich manuscript, a 200-page book filled with an untranslatable script and bizarre botanical illustrations, has baffled scholars, cryptographers, and historians since it was discovered in 1912. Despite centuries of attempts to decipher its text, whether by cryptography experts or even AI, no one has cracked its code or understood its purpose. Some believe it might be a medical or alchemical text, while others think it could be the last remnants of a lost language or a compendium of ancient knowledge. The illustrations in the manuscript depict plants that don't exist, leading some to speculate that the manuscript is a representation of a long-lost world or a fictional creation. Number 9. The Dropa stones. Deep in the mountains of China, hundreds of stone discs were discovered, each intricately carved with inscriptions. The Dropa stones are believed by some to tell the story of a race of small, thin beings who crash-landed on Earth some 12,000 years ago. Local legends speak of sky people who arrived from the stars, but mainstream archaeologists dismiss these stories as folklore. Despite this, the Dropa stones continue to elude explanation. Some researchers believe the stones may be an ancient form of record-keeping, preserving the story of a forgotten civilization, or perhaps even an encounter with extraterrestrials. The inscriptions on the stones, which are similar to a type of early pictographic writing, seem to tell a tale of survival and adaptation by a foreign race stranded on Earth. Number 8. The Costa Rican stone spheres. Deep in the rainforests of Costa Rica, hundreds of massive stone spheres rest in silence, some small enough to hold in your hands, others weighing up to 16 tons. These near-perfect spheres, believed to be over 1,000 years old, were crafted by the Diquis culture, but no one knows exactly how or why. Some researchers believe they were used for astronomical alignment, while others think they marked territorial boundaries or held religious significance. However, many have been moved from their original locations, adding to the mystery. Were they symbols of power, Or do they hold a deeper secret? The answer remains elusive. Number 7. The Lake Winnipesaukee Mystery Stone. In 1872, workers digging near Lake Winnipesaukee in New Hampshire unearthed something completely unexpected, a small egg-shaped stone covered in strange engravings. The smooth, dark rock, measuring about 4 inches tall, features carvings of a face, arrows, moons, and geometric patterns. But here's the mystery. No one knows who made it, what it represents, or where it came from. Some believe the artifact is hundreds or even thousands of years old, possibly linked to Native American tribes. Others suggest it's a 19th century commemorative piece created by settlers. However, the lack of tool marks and its unusual engravings fuel speculation about its true origins. Adding to the enigma, the stone has 2 precisely drilled holes, which experts say would have required advanced tools not common in ancient times. Number 6. The Ubaid Lizardmen Figurines. Imagine this. Archaeologists in Iraq uncover small humanoid statues, some with reptilian features, dating back more than 7,000 years to the Ubaid period. Sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, right? These figures have elongated skulls, almond-shaped eyes, and scaly skin, some holding infants, others dressed in helmets or strange ritual attire. But the real question is, what do they actually represent? Mainstream scholars argue they're symbolic of deities or mythical beings. But wait, could these figurines possibly be representations of real creatures the ancient Ubaid people saw? Maybe extraterrestrial visitors or an ancient race we've never known? These statues even predate the Sumerian civilization, yet resemble later depictions of divine beings in Mesopotamian art. With no written explanation to back it up, the Ubaid lizardmen are one of archaeology's most baffling mysteries. Number 5. The Dendera Light. Now let's take a trip to Egypt. I don't know about you, but this next one makes you question everything we know about ancient civilizations. In the Temple of Hathor at Dendera, there's a bizarre relief carving that resembles a modern light bulb. Yeah, you heard that right. Some claim it's a symbol of creation, representing a lotus flower with a snake, but others argue it could be much more than just symbolic. Could the ancient Egyptians have actually known about electricity? The object in the carving looks a lot like a light bulb, and some theorists believe it could have been used as a source of light, perhaps powered by a form of ancient battery like the Baghdad battery. And here's the thing, no soot or smoke marks have ever been found in the tombs, suggesting they didn't use torches. So, was it just an ancient myth? Or could Egypt have known about electric lighting long before we ever imagined? Number 4. The Black Knight Satellite. Now here's one that takes us way up into space, and honestly, it's a mystery that'll make you think twice about what's out there. For decades, people have talked about the Black Knight satellite, a mysterious object in orbit around Earth, and some believe it's been up there for over 13,000 years. Radio signals from this unknown source were detected as early as the 1950s, and astronomers noticed an unidentified object in orbit, moving in a way that was impossible with any human technology we knew at the time. NASA calls it space debris, a thermal blanket lost from a mission. But what's even crazier? Radio signals were picked up in the early 20th century, years before humans even launched anything into space. Number 3. The Antikythera mechanism. Let's switch gears now to ancient technology, something that's going to make your jaw drop. In 1901, sponge divers off the coast of Antikythera, Greece, discovered an object so complex that it's called the world's first analog computer. It's known as the Antikythera mechanism, and it was designed to predict astronomical positions, lunar cycles, and even eclipses with incredible accuracy. What makes this device so mind-blowing is that it dates back to around 150 to 100 BC, way before any technology like it should have existed. Scholars think it was built by Greek engineers, possibly influenced by the teachings of Archimedes. But here's the kicker. The level of sophistication in its gears and dials suggests that this kind of technology was lost for centuries, only to be rediscovered much later. Number 2. The Stargate of Abu Ghraib. Alright, let's head back to Egypt for a moment. Imagine this. Abu Ghraib, an ancient site that's often thought to be just another solar temple. But what if it's more than that? Some legends claim the site emitted powerful energy fields, and there are those who believe it may have been used for communication with beings from another world. It's a strange place, even by ancient standards. Archaeologists say it was dedicated to the worship of the sun god Ra, but visitors have reported odd sensations that are hard to explain. Was it just a typical temple, or was there something more to this site, something we've yet to understand? Could this have been part of an advanced technology that's long since been lost to time? Number 1. Göbekli Tepe. And now, we get to the big one. The site that rewrites history as we know it. Picture this. Göbekli Tepe, located in southeastern Turkey, where archaeologists have uncovered massive stone pillars arranged in circles dating back over 11,000 years. This predates both Stonehenge and the pyramids by thousands of years. The crazy part? These massive stones, some weighing multiple tons, would have required advanced engineering skills to move, yet the people who built them were supposed to be simple hunter-gatherers. How is that possible? Could it be that something beyond agriculture, perhaps spiritual beliefs or religious motivations, drove these people to create one of the most advanced sites of its time? What's even stranger is that Göbekli Tepe was mysteriously buried around 8000 BC, and no one knows why. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon in the next one.